This is a 19-foot three-pointer.
Rogers has seen so much zone this year. They're used to it.
Goes hard to the basket and puts it in for two. Nice-looking play by Shirley Morinz, the 5'4 senior for Peru, and we're tied at 2. Ball loose on the floor. Ruff there to pick it up. Now to Holland.
We've already seen Holland with more space at the three-point line than she's had in the last couple of games.
Wrap around pass to Larkin on the left wing. Peru in a 2-3 zone, it looks like to me. Now Malco right side. Gives him the corner to Holland. Three right baselines off the back of the rim. No good. Larkin with the rebound and pulls it out and resets for Rochester. Holland left wing three. Good. Rochester leads 5-2.
Holland took those 2 threes wide open, and she's been open all night. I mean, the first possession, I think she touched the ball 3 times and had 3 or 4 steps between her and the defender.
Zinkovic outside against Holland. Loses the basketball. X is there to pick it up. X, right lane. Layup on the way is no good, but a foul coming on Morinz, and that's going to send Holland to the line to shoot 2 for the Lady Zebras, who lead 5-2 with a minute and a half gone here in the first quarter.
Morinz picks up her team first for Peru, and they can not afford to have her get into foul trouble tonight. She's their Mr. Everything.
So Holland at the line to shoot 2 for the Lady Zebras. 5-2 Rochester. X eyes the first one, lets it fly, and it's good. Boy, it's really tough to get a feel on how the shot looks from this angle. We're way above the floor. We're 20 feet, 30 feet above the floor, so everything that they shoot tonight looks flat to us.
Yeah, you're right.
X second one is no good. Rolls up the front of the rim. Ruff with a rebound. Ball on the blocks, down low. Ball loose in the paint. Morinz picked it up for Peru and runs to our right.
Bad pass by Ruff. She wasn't gaining any advantage by giving it back to Holland.
Ruff over Musselman, or make that Morinz over Musselman, no good. And we're going to have a foul coming on Peru. I believe it's going to go back to Rochester. They lead by 4. 6:14 to play in the first quarter. Big draw tonight here in a little bit, Val. About a half hour away.
Yep, the sectional draw.
Scratch that, about 10 minutes away.
It's going to be, one thing I said a year ago at this time was, boy, the Tippecanoe Valley get a bad draw. And they wound up ending their season at Bankers Life. So it's important. It's fun. It's a starting point, but don't take it too seriously.
Musselman loses the handle, then knocks it off the leg of, well, she knocked it out of bounds. It's going to go back to Peru. That's a tough entry pass to handle as well. Newly into the basketball game is Hannah Cousins. She brings it up the floor for Peru. 6-2 Rochester. Cousins on the left wing with Holland inside her jersey. Got to be close to a 5-second. Nope. She runs away from Holland. Law pass down low, taken away by Larkin. Actually knocked out of bounds by Allie. It's going to stay with Peru baseline left.
Larkin got her hand on it, but just couldn't control the basketball before it went out of bounds.
Hannah Cousins got her basketball started casting system, moved over to Peru.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Cousins on the left wing behind the arc, works against Holland. Now top of the key between the rings. Backs her way back to the 10-second line. And we're going to have a 5-second call whistled against Peru. Good defense by Alexa Holland. And really, Brad, she really didn't do anything special. She just stayed in front of the ball.
Took away the passing opportunity for Cousins, and all she could do was stand out there and dribble. She couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
2-3 zone for Peru. Ruff in the left wing, or the left baseline. Now to Malco. Back to Ruff, left side. Behind the arc for Rochester. Top of the key to Holland. Back to Ruff, left wing. Look at the three. Bounce pass to Musselman at the free throw line. Out to Holland. Now quickly to wide open Larkin. Larkin step back behind the three-point line. Picks up her dribble. Now to Holland, high on the right side. Alexa tries to get it inside to Kennedy. The ball's deflected right into the hands of the Lady Tigers, and Cousins brings it up the floor for Peru. 6-2 Rochester.
4 turnovers already for Rochester.
Morinz is fouled on the reach-in, and it'll be whistled against Holland, I believe.
Yep.
Just under 5 to play in the first quarter. Rochester up 6-2.
X said she was sick on senior night the other night. Said she felt sluggish. So let all scores in 17.
Cousins behind the three-point line. Has her pass taken away by Ruff. Low left side of the floor for Rochester. Going to the basket. In the lane, kicks it out to Holland. 3 left wing for the Lady Zebras is short. And the rebound to Morinz for Peru. 4.5 to play. First quarter, Rochester up by 4 at 6-2. And Cousins with the basketball, high on the right side for Peru. Bounce pass is knocked out of bounds by Ruff. And it'll stay with the Tigers on the right side of the floor. Gardner looks to get it in for Peru. Still looking to get it in. Does top of the key to Morinz, and right through her legs and out of bounds, and it'll go back to Rochester as Emma Dahlquist will check in for the first time tonight. And I'm guessing she'll spell Kennedy, and she will. The Dahlquist in, Kennedy is out.
So far, so good in terms of defensive intensity.
Well, right now it's all contingent on Holland and Ruff. They've been doing a great job. Forced the Lady Tigers into 5 turnovers.
Malco hard to the basket. Layup is good off the glass, and it's 8-2 Rochester. Boy, I like Marin. She handles the ball really well, and right now Rochester's in her jersey, not letting her touch the ball very often.
Well, Coach Weeks says that she's their leading scorer. She's their leading assist person.
Cousins, lob pass to Honeyegger. Her shot blocked by Dahlquist, picked up by Emma. Now to Holland. Rochester run. 4 minutes to play first quarter. Holland left side of the floor.
Had 3 block shots against Manchester last Saturday.
Ruff, left wing 3 for the Lady Zebras. Is in and out, no good. Holland to the rebound. X in the lane. Shot blocked. And she touches the standing out of bounds and go back to Peru.
Good block by Gardner.
Peru will use a timeout. It is a 30. You're listening to Lady Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. .48 to play first quarter. Rochester up 8-2. It'll be Peru basketball after their timeout going to our right. Rochester a little token pressure in the backcourt. As the pass comes into Marin, she pushes up the floor for Peru. Left side of the floor. Marin high on the left side. Escapes a little pressure from Malco. Works to the right elbow. Step back. Jumper on the way from the free throw line's off the rim. No good. Dahlquist runs down the loose ball rebound and gives to Larkin. Rochester runs to our left, wearing all black tonight here on the road. Malco drives against a double team, kicks it out to Ruff, top of the key to Larkin. Right elbow now to Malco, feeds down low to Dahlquist, backs her way in, throws up his shot, no good, and the rebound to Peru. Cousins will push for the Lady Tigers. Rochester by 6 with 3:15 to play in the first quarter. Cousins drives left with her left hand at the left elbow. Back door to Marin. 3 left wing for Peru's off the glass. No good. Ball being tipped around. Ruff comes out of there with it and loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with Peru underneath their own basket. And the Lady Tigers will substitute. Cousins will come out. And coming into the game is Jesse Zavirs, I believe. Yeah. Zavirs. Good call. Marin drives in the paint. Jump stop. Rises up. Shot off the glass. Nope. Dahlquist under the board. And outlets to Larkin. Ahead to Malco. Malco on the left wing for the Lady Zebras, who lead by 6. Her pass almost taken away. Larkin has the basketball now on the left wing. Out to Malco near the timeline. Now between the rings. Wrap around pass to Ruff. Down little Dahlquist, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to Rochester as X will come back into the game. Rochester up 8-2, 2:40 to play in the first quarter.
And surely Marin's favorite player must be Tim Duncan, because she tries to bank in everything. And I mean everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like she tried to bank that 3 in.
Zavirs has it tipped in the backcourt. She picks it up, drives it left against the double team. Gives right wing to, gives it to Shank, and Shank travels going to her left. And it'll go back to Rochester, 2:22 to play in the first quarter. 8-2, Lady Zebras. 2-3 zone by the Lady Tigers. Malco through the center circle to our left. Malco bounce pass high on the right side to Holland. Now back to Malco. Drives it inside the three-point line. Down low to Dahlquist. Jumper in the paint is good. Nice feed by Becky Malco. Emma Dahlquist hit it wide open, and it's 10-2. Lady Zebras, 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Dribbling quickly into the schemes of the defense.
Becky Malco picks off the pass. She'll drive in for the layup, and before the shot, she travels. And before the foul, she travels.
Yeah, she tried to do a jump shot. She knew Marin's was coming up behind her, and she didn't want to get it swatted out of bounds. Unfortunately, she couldn't stop her feet from moving.
Zebras in, gets the inbound pass. Works against Holland, against the double team now. Looks for Marin, but has top of the key to Gardner. Gardner against Shively, who's in the basketball game for Rochester. Zavirs with it. Works to the right wing against Holland. Still dribbling. Has her pass tipped away, but right there is Morenz to pick it up. She goes to the basket hard. Down low to Honeyacre, and she has it tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Honeyacre, they say, and Peru, Rochester going to get it back.
9 turnovers already for Peru here in this first quarter.
So back in is Ruff, and Larkin will sit down. In for the first time for Peru is Candace Parks, a 6'1 senior, and Honeyacre will sit down. Brad Thomas, Val Caceres, I'm David Musselman at Peru High School. Second to the final game of the regular season. Man, it is going fast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Rochester by 8. Malco against the 2-3 zone. Now to Holland, back to Malco, quickly right side to Ruff. Ruff feeds down low to Dahlquist, to Shively. Jumper short. Rebound by Morenz for Peru.
Good job of Peru clogging the paint there.
Yeah.
Did not make it easy on Shively. In fact, it was kind of a miracle that the pass even got to Shively.
I was going to say, I kind of would have rather seen Dahlquist shoot that. She's not gaining an advantage by throwing it to Shively. Dahlquist is 2 feet from the basket. Shively's not any closer. She's not getting a higher percentage shot with that pass.
Becky Malco called on the reach-in as Morenz travels and no call. So it'll be Peru basketball out of bounds. And then Malco takes the inbound pass away. Becky Malco high on the right side. Accelerates to the elbow. Step back 3, right wing on the way. No good. And the rebound is by Ruff. And Ruff knocks it out of bounds as Peru mauls her, Gardner is, and knocked the basketball out of Ruff, and it goes back to the Peru Tigers.
Peru with 10 turnovers here in the first quarter, and while that normally would be a good stat for the Lady Zebras, unfortunately they've got 8 turnovers of their own.
Step back, and the step back 3 in transition is not a great shot either. That's almost like a turnover.
Shank looks to get it in, and I thought she was throwing it to the scorer's table, honestly, and gets it in to Candace Parks, and Parks gives it to Morenz. Morenz at the elbow, pass is knocked away, stolen by Musselman. Now to Malco. Becky with it with 40, and Rochester will look for the final shot of the quarter, up by 8 at 10-2, and that's exactly what Coach Stasiak says, as a 2-3 zone extended out to the volleyball line.
Good defense by Alexa Holland there on that last possession. She was the one who tipped it.
Malco in the center circle, near the timeline, holds. Left wing pass to Ruff. Mo, a couple of dribbles to her right, gives back to Malco in the center circle with 20. Now high on the right side to Holland with 19, around the defense to Malco with 16. Becky holds in the center circle with 13. First quarter coming to an end. Ruff with the basketball. Rochester by 8. Ruff to her right. Now to Malco with 8. Now to 7. Now to 6. Malco left side with 5. Malco with 4. Gives to Holland. Holland, 3 at the buzzer from the left wing. No good. After 1, Rochester leads 10-2. You're listening to Lady Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. Going to the second quarter of Peru High School. Well, it wasn't pretty, but Rochester holds an 8-point lead. Going to the second period, 10-2. Brad Thomas, Val Caceres, the sports editor of the Rochester Sentinel, joins us tonight. I'm David Musselman. Rochester will start this quarter of the basketball as Larkin will look to get it in. I thought Rochester did a pretty good job going to the paint, or trying to go to the paint.
Yeah.
In that first quarter.
I would still agree with Val. I think he made the comment earlier. Right now, their defensive intensity is probably better than their offensive output right now.
Yeah. Malco, right wing 3. No good. Musselman to the rebound. Kennedy's put back off the glass is good.
That's what we need to see more of.
Offensive putback?
Offensive putbacks.
Yep. The biggest one on the floor?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Well,
Vinkovic.
I was just thinking from anybody, but okay.
Works to the right wing against Holland. She loses the handle, now picks it up. Left wing pass to Gardner. High on the left side against Ruff. Now in the corner to Parks. Parks, top of the key to Gardner. 3 straight A for Peru is no good. Becky Malco, another rebound. She gets smacked in the face, no call. That's about the 4th time in 2 games she takes one at the top.
Right.
So around her average, about twice a game.
Yeah, good call, Al.
You're getting her a mouthpiece.
Holland to Larkin. She dribbles to the top of the key, high on the right side to Malco. Drives.
Helmet.
Outside of Larkin, 18-footer left wing, off the back of the rim and back in.
Well, that rattled around the rim about 2 or 3 times, didn't it?
And now we're going to have a talking to by the official as Parks and Musselman gets tied up down low. I think the way his hands motioning, signaling, he doesn't have any idea what's going on. He's just asking both of them what they had for supper. Yeah. I had a lot of palms in the sky, palms to the ground. I don't know what's going on. He knows, right? Shoulder shrugging.
All I know is that David Weeks and Tony Stasiak, they went to the scores table together, and they're both laughing now, so I don't think it's too serious.
Full court press into Parks. Parks going to the basket. She has it stocked away from Ruff. You know, I like that Parks is aggressive going to the basket, but she's got to know that she's not the fastest one on the floor. It's got to be coming up from somebody's coming from behind.
She's got to, Well, that's something you need to keep in the back of your head when you're not, the point guard.
Parks takes advantage of Kennedy going for the inbound pass and lays it in for an easy 2. Rochester up by 10. 6:40 to play in the first half. Ruff at the free throw line. Boy, she is getting mauled.
Yeah. I don't know why Holland would throw that in there. She's quadruple teamed. There's no reason to force that pass into there.
Holland left wing 3. Good! 17-4. 6.5 to play in the first half.
Let's start with Morenz being too aggressive on defense. And Malco got by her, and the whole Peru defense kind of broke down a little bit.
Morenz in the corner to Gardner. Gardner in the right corner against the double team. Over the top of the defense to Morenz. Morenz in the paint. Jump stop. Jumper over Musselman. Partially blocked. Ball being fought for. We're going to have a tie-up down low. Peru will keep possession. 6:08 to play in the first half. Rochester up 17-4. Cousins will come back in for the Lady Tigers. And she'll spell Morenz. In Peru basketball, baseline right. As Gardner will look to trigger it in for Peru. Gardner studies. Looking for Parks down low. Still looking to get it in. Does over the top of the defense to Cousins. Back to Gardner. Back to Cousins high on the left side. Cousins gets away. Yep, I was going to say there's a double dribble. And it'll go back to Rochester. 6:02 to play in the first half. Rochester by 13.
That's called hearing footsteps.
Good call.
Well, with Holland and Malco and Ruff out there, you're always looking over your shoulder.
2-3 zone by Peru. Malco back to Holland, top of the key, left side to Larkin. Alley drives to the baseline, kicks it out to Holland. Back to Larkin. Thought about a 3, now to the wing, now to Holland, straightaway 3, top of the key. Is off the back of the rim, no good. And the rebound to Larkin, had it taken away by Shank, but they were going to call a tie-up, and Rochester going to keep possession.
Holland, truthfully, could probably shoot a 3 every other time she touches the ball. They're not
that far open.
They're not putting any pressure on her at all.
Musselman comes out of the game. Dahlquist back in. 5:42 to play in the first half. Rochester up 17-4. And the Lady Zebras with the basketball going to our left. Malco high on the right side of Holland. Holland with the basketball as the defense then extended out to the volleyball line. Now to Malco. Becky on the left wing. One dribble down to Larkin, top of the key. Back to Malco. Drives the left side. Pull-up jumper from 10 feet. Partially blocked. And we're going to have a foul from the official in front of the Peru bench.
Opposite side of the floor.
Right in front of the Cat on the baseline. Nothing from the Cat on the baseline. And Becky Malco will go to the line now to shoot 2.
Nothing from the guy on the baseline. Nothing from the guy at midcourt. It was the guy on the opposite side of the floor.
Malco has 2 for Rochester. She eyes the first one, and it's good as it rolls around and falls through. 18-4 Rochester with 4:20. Make that 5:25 to play in the first half. Becky with one more.
Abby Malco had a game in her career where she went 18 for 19 against Bremen from the line.
Does Harvey Hinklemeyer's close early tonight? Is that what these guys are? They got reservations at maybe o'clock or something?
Full court press. Cousins gets it ahead to Schenk. Gets it to a wide open Gardner. Cross lane pass to Parks. And he puts it in for 2. Peru did a great job that time breaking that press.
Yeah, they got it over the top and down the floor.
What day was that on, Val? And what year was she in?
Against Bremen, her senior year.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew you know that.
Yeah.
Holland.
I was just going to say free throw shooting skips a generation.
Well, that would be her kids then, wouldn't it? Holland for 3. Right baseline's in and out, no good. And the rebound to Parks. And she hands off to Cousins for Peru, who brings it up against Malco. Works to the right wing. Bounce pass to Gardner. Gardner against a double team. One dribble to her right. She gives it up. Sikovic for 3. Rattles in from the right wing. And it's 19-9 Rochester. 4.5 to play in the first half. Holland. Malco, left side to Larkin, back to Malco. Out to Holland. Holland in the paint, out to Malco. 3 straight away for Rochester. Good. That looked good from the start.
Yeah.
Good shot. Rochester up 22-9. Sinkovic brings it up for the Lady Tigers. Bounce pass ahead to Cousins. Cousins high on the left side, right in front of Coach Stasiak. Loses the handle, picks the basketball up. Now Ruff steals the basketball. Morgan Ruff, right side of the lane, right-handed layup off the window. Oh, no good. And the rebound to Peru. Cousins. I had that all but in the book.
It should have been. Ruff just gave up on it. She quit concentrating about the last 2 steps of that.
Sinkovic at the left elbow, kicks it out to Gardner. Gardner in the lane to Parks, over Dahlquist. Jumper's good.
Parks,
nice looking shot.
6 points in this quarter.
6'1" senior Candace Parks.
She probably had 10 in the JV game.
Yeah. 22-11. Malco, right wing pass to Larkin. Alley, a couple of dribbles to Malco. Now at the Holland, wide open 3, drives the paint, throws up a shot off the window. It's in and out, no good. Rebound by Ruff, saves them going out of bounds to Holland. Just steps back 3, left wing is no good. And the rebound to Peru and Gardner. She gives to Cousins. Cousins will bring it up the floor against a double team. Half-court trap. She dribbles away from Rochester. Now we're going to have a Peru timeout. It will be a 30. You're listening to Ladies Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. Minutes, 10 seconds to play in the first half. Rochester up 22-11. It hasn't been one of Rochester's finest first halves we've seen.
Still not shooting the ball very well. It's about the 3rd game in a row now. We haven't been real sharp.
Here comes the half-court trap. Ruff kicks the basketball out of bounds. Got anything yet, Val?
Yes. Class 1A, sectional 51, 6 teams at Culver. Argus will play Culver in game 1. Winner of that game will play Lacrosse. That's the top half of the bracket. Bottom half, North Miami will play Triton. Winner will play South Central.
Okay. Cousins travels, going to give it back to Rochester. Well, obviously they do the 1A brackets first, and the 2A's coming.
Yeah. Yep. So Argus and South Central will not play, if they play, until the sectional final. Argus is ranked number 5. South Central is ranked number 7 in Class 1.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Malco, left elbow, kicks it out to Larkin. Larkin around the defense, out of Holland, top of the key, back to Larkin. Larkin dribbles top of the key, now right wing to Holland. Left side to Malco.
Peru putting a little more pressure on those 3-point shooters out on the outside.
Malco to the paint, Leaner on the way, a lot of contact, no foul, and they're not even going to say Peru touched it. It's going to go back to Rochester, or go back to Peru. Woo! These guys have left a little bit to be desired by the officiating.
That ball doesn't flatline straight out of bounds unless somebody hits it. So they either hit her arm and that's a foul, or they hit the ball.
Yeah.
And ours. That's pretty bad.
That is bad. 2.5 to play in the first half, 22-11. Rochester. Sinkovic over the top of the defense, and actually has it tipped out of bounds by Ruff. Go ahead, Val.
Class 1A, sectional 50, 7 teams at West Central. Caston will play North White. Winner of that game will play Tri-County. In the top half of the draw and the bottom half of the draw, these are the Wednesday night games. Pioneer against Covenant Christian. South Newton against West Central. North White, the defending sectional champion. And that's who the Lady Comets will play.
Okay, they're pretty good again this year.
Yeah, Macy Heimlich, who is Coach Brian Heimlich's daughter, outstanding point guard. Audrey Minix in the post. Coach Burris will have his hands full, I'm sure, preparing for that game.
2 minutes to play, first half. Marin back on the floor for Peru. Her pass is kicked away by Ruff, and Peru will try it again. Rochester by 11 at 22-11.
So what constitutes a kick? Does it have to hit your foot, or can it hit your knee?
You got to kick. You can throw the ball in the paint. If you don't move your leg to kick it, it's not a kick.
But if it hits your knee, is that a kick?
Apparently.
Marin's very lucky that didn't result in a turnover.
Yeah,
I agree, because it hit Ruff in the knee.
Sinkovic, high on the right side to Gardner. Now to Marin against Malco. Drives her to the left baseline. Cut off by the defense. Down low to Shank. Her shot is no good. Actually, her shot was good, but before the shot, she traveled. Nice defense by Emma Dahlquist. It'll go back to Rochester with 1:50 to play in the first half. Rochester by 11. Malco through the center circle. Peru stayed in that 2-3 zone. I'm not sure they come out of that 2-3 zone tonight.
No, they've just extended it to put more pressure on the ball out front.
Larkin for three. Nope. Rebound tipped around. Holland comes out of there with it. Left wing now for Rochester.
Again, in a little bit of a slump here offensively.
Holland, left wing. Thought about a three. Gives to Ruff in the paint. Wrap around pass to Dahlquist. Her jumper in the lane is good. Emma Dahlquist has 4. And Rochester up 24-11.
Good. Peru's done a decent job of protecting the rim in this game, but not there.
Sinkovic, right wing three, wide open, is no good. And the rebound tipped around. Dahlquist comes out of there with another board. Now to Holland. Rochester will use a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Ladies Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. Five seconds to play in the first half. Rochester up 24-11. And after the Rochester timeout, they'll have the basketball going to our left. Musselman back in the game for the Lady Zebras. Malco will bring it up the floor. Becky will take her time, walks it through the center circle. The 2-3 zone, again extended out to the volleyball line. Rochester will look for the final shot of the period. Malco against Marins around the defense to Holland. Back to Malco. Becky high on the left side to Larkin. 46 seconds. Allie holds the basketball. Dribbles to her right, gives to Holland. Back to Malco in the center circle. Back to Holland, top of the key with 38. And now X travels. Gardner will trigger it in right in front of the scorer's table. Does so to Shank. Shank gets it in the corner to Parks. Down little Marin. Marin's jumper no good. Ruff of the board with 28. Now to Malco.
Marin didn't know where she was on the floor.
You're right.
She had just maybe, instead of trying to take a quick turnaround, just maybe
she could have just
slow down a second.
She could just put it right up off the glass like a layup.
13 seconds. Malco in the center circle with 10. Becky drifts to her left with 9. Now with 7. Corner to Holland with 5. X with 3. Long 3. No good. The rebound by Ruff. We're going to have a foul on Marin. It doesn't matter. It's halftime. Nobody's shooting free throws on that one. Rochester at the break leads 24-11. You're listening to Ladies Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. So next week, John, what did you say?
Northfield, I was listening down the line.
We got Northfield on what day?
That day I didn't hear, I just listened in queue.
Okay.
Okay.
So that'll be
Northfield back-to-back.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, Northfield on Thursday, and then Northfield in the first game of the sectional. Rochester has the basketball. Holland to Malco. The entry pass is knocked out of bounds by Peru. And it will stay with Rochester baseline right.
Be curious as to where Lewis Cass and Oak Hill fall in the bracket, because I think both of those teams have the capability of being upset teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. Malco looks to get it in. Does so to Holland behind the arc in the right wing. Step back, now to Larkin, top of the key. Peru still in that 2-3 zone. Now Larkin backs it out, now to Holland, right side. Holland with the basketball, back to Larkin. Top of the key for Rochester. They lead 24-11. The Ruff, wraparound pass to Holland. Right wing 3 is no good. Becky Malco, the weak side rebound. She drives the baseline, and she's going to be fouled on the drive. It'll be out of bounds to Rochester. 30 seconds gone in the first quarter. So it looks like Rochester will play Northfield in game number 2 on Wednesday night, and Oak Hill opposite on the opposite side of the bracket.
It's good. It's good. Oak Hill right now 15-5.
Say it again.
I thought Oak Hill was, well, they couldn't be. Must be like 13-5. So, I mean, Oak Hill's got a pretty good record, and it's the one team we haven't faced this season.
Holland on the right wing. Rochester having a little bit of trouble, that 2-3 zone. Ruff at the free throw line. Outside to Larkin. Larkin backs it away from the three-point line. Now to Holland, down little Musselman. She puts it in off the glass, and she's got 4 points, and it's 26-11. Go, Val.
Oak Hill will play Manchester. Winner of that game will play Wabash.
That's on Tuesday night.
Yes.
Holland picks the pocket of Marin. Holland will go in for the right-handed layup. It's good. It's 28-11. Okay, keep going.
Bottom half of the draw. Lewis Cass will play Southwood. Rochester will play Northfield. So Rochester will play Northfield on Wednesday, February 3rd. Winner will play the Lewis Cass Southwood winner.
Jump on the block is no good by Shank. Picked up by Malco. Becky pushes. Right side of the floor. Down low to Musselman. Musselman kicks it out to Larkin. She drives it hard. Wrap around pass to Ruff. Ruff layup on the right side of the lane. Short again. Put back is blocked. And the rebound to Constables in the basketball game for the first time. Outside of Gardner. We'll run down those pairings here in a little bit. Constable down low against Musselman. Baseline pass to Gardner. Her three is in and out, no good. Musselman to the rebound, and Constable climbs her back. And she'll get a foul whistle against her. It'll be Rochester basketball. 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Say that again, Val. On Tuesday night,
Oak Hill will play Manchester.
At what time is that?
I think it'll be a 7 o'clock start.
7 o'clock at Rochester.
At Rochester. Winner of that game will play Wabash on Friday. So in a 7-team section, only one team gets the bye. Wabash got the bye.
Okay. And so on Wednesday night, first game,
Lewis Cass versus Southwood.
That's a 6 o'clock start.
Yes.
Lewis Cass and Southwood, followed by Rochester and Northfield.
Yes.
Friday night then will be obviously the two winners in game 2, and the first game will be Wabash and the winner of the Tuesday night game.
Yes.
Malco into Musselman. Tough entry pass, going to skip out of bounds. And they're going to say last touch by Rochester to go back to Peru.
So Rochester will play Northfield on Thursday night and play them again next Wednesday.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That stinks, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So 28-11 here with 5:45 to play in the first third quarter.
Play at Northfield on Thursday and at Rochester the following week on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. Constable against the double team. Over the top to Prescott. Her jumper no good. Musselman clears the board and outlets to Malco. 28-11, Rochester on top. Malco in the paint, stops out to Holland. Wide open three, right wing is no good. Rebound fought for, and we're going to have a tie-up down low, and it's going to go back to Peru. Man, Kennedy's really struggling.
I'm surprised
up and down the floor.
Surprised she's played as much as she has.
Yeah, I am too. Honeyacre comes back into the game, and Constable will sit down. 5:20 to play in the third. Rochester up 28-11. Lorenz gets the inbound pass, brings it up the floor. Middle of the floor now for Peru. Right wing pass outside to Shank. Shank goes to the basket. Nice screen by Honeyacre. Shot no good. Ball tipped around. Honeyacre's putback is good. And it's 28-13. Malco, wraparound pass to Holland in the paint. X out to Malco. Left wing, wide open three is Larkin. She drives, pull up 10-footer is good. 28-13, make that 30-13 Rochester. 4:45 to play in the third. Baseball pass down the court of Marin. It's a foot race to the basketball. Marin picks it up on the block. Leaner against Malco, no good. She gets the roll read back on the baseline, puts it up over Shively, no good. And the rebound to Becky.
How is that not a travel? That was incredible.
Becky loses the basketball, and they're going to say last touch by the Tigers. It'll stay with Rochester baseline left. Dahlquist comes back in. Musselman will come out.
You guys have mastered the art of complaining about officiating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Val.
Yeah. God.
You just write it down, and I'll say it. Holland gets it into Malco. Three, right baseline for the Lady Zebras. Nope. Weak side rebound to Holland. X on the baseline. Kicks it out to Larkin, top of the key. Larkin drives it to the right elbow. Back to Malco. Becky in the middle of the floor. In the paint. Leaner on the way is no good, but a foul coming on Peru, and that's going to send Malco to the line to shoot two. I think she took it in the face again.
Again, she's rubbing the side of her face.
And that's number 3 on Marin. No.
Lindsay Prescott. Bob Prescott, the football coach's daughter. Becky with 2 for Rochester. The senior eyes the first one and lets it fly, and it's good. 31-13, 4:18 to play in the third quarter.
Cordell Prescott starts on the boys team at Peru. He might be the best screener in the area. When he sets a pick,
you know it, huh?
Yeah.
You know it. He was a tight end for the football team, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Second one was good by Malco, and it's 32-13. Full court press by the Lady Zebras. Shank looking to get it in. Bounce pass into Honeyacre. Honeyacre. No, I beg that Prescott. I beg your pardon. Over the top to Marin. Marin breaks the press. Goes to the basket. Down low against Dahlquist, and she fouls her on the shot. And Coach Stasiak says, hey, just stand there flat-footed and raise your hands. Just be big.
Yeah.
You know, you're right now taller than her by 7 inches.
Yeah.
All we need is somebody to be big.
She didn't have to jump on that. This is the first trip to the free throw line for anybody on the Tigers.
And Shirley Marin's at the line to shoot 2 for the Lady Tigers. Rochester up 32-13. First one is no good. Bounces on the front of the rim. And Ruff back into the game, and Holland will come out. Brad Thomas, Val Cesaris for the Rochester Sentinel. David Musselman with you at Peru High School. The Class 2A draw was just released. Rochester will play Northfield again next Wednesday night at home in game number 2 at Rochester High School. Second free throw is good this time by Marin and Peru.
If they win, they'll get the winner of the Lewis Cass Southwood game.
Yep.
But the bottom line is if Rochester's going to play either Oak Hill or Wabash, it wouldn't be until the championship game.
Yeah.
Let Oak Hill and Wabash play a triple overtime game on Friday night.
Marin travels, no call.
I agree with you, Val. Marin's now with 5. So
these officials are not very good.
They're either not very good or they got reservations they got to keep.
Yeah, no doubt. Ruff, step back 3, left wing. Good! 35-16, 3:40 to play in the third quarter. Marin's over the top of the defense. Shively picks it off. Maddie then gives to Becky Malco. She'll cross the timeline left. Rochester by 19. Allie Larkin at the free throw line, and she's going to be fouled on the reach-in by...
I was going to say, how long does she have to have that on wrapped around her before they call it?
Gardner's going to pick up the foul for Peru. And it's going to be out of bounds to Rochester baseline right. 3:27 to play in the third. Back into the game for Peru. No, in the game for the first time for Peru is Stone. Harmony Stone, the 5'6" freshman in the game for Peru. Larkin to Ruff on the right wing. Mo, top of the key, back to Larkin. Fakes a 3, drives. Cross lane pass to Malco. Her leaner off the window is no good. She gets her own rebound. Kicks it out to Ruff, top of the key. Now left side to Larkin. Larkin to the basketball on the right wing for Rochester. Now backs it out and resets for the Lady Zebras at the volleyball line. 3:10 to play in the third quarter. Malco on the right wing, high on the right side. Now left wing pass him. Ruff down to Larkin. Alley's 15-footer is no good. Dahlquist saves them going out of bounds to Malco. Now to Ruff. Left wing to Larkin. 3 again, left side. This one's good and a foul.
Oh, nice job by Allie Larkin. Don't give up on the shot.
Hang on a minute. The foul was not on Larkin. The foul was down low on Shank on the shot. So the officials converged. They talk about it. It should be out of bounds to Rochester after the basket was good, and it will be good. And now Rochester will have the basketball out of bounds.
Because the foul could have been on the girl blocking Larkin out, too. I mean, that was...
So Shank picks up a foul. It'll be the team fifth with 2:56 to play in the third quarter. Larkin got to get it in. Goes to the Ruff on the right wing. Now to Larkin. Right baseline 3. No good. Woo, that was close. And now Marin's with a
play for Allen.
Yeah, right. Marin through the center circle for Peru. 38-16 Rochester. Marin's in the paint. Stop down low, throws it at the ankles of Shank and goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Rochester.
I was just going to say, great job by Allie Larkin on the three-pointer because nothing shuts up the chance of air ball like knocking down a 3.
Interesting, in sectional 35, Whitco drew Bremen.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Allie Rife against Michaela Bach. Be a good matchup.
Yep.
Chelsea Huppert.
Where is that?
At Central Noble.
Okay.
Chelsea Huppert in the post for Bremen. Whitco with, Kennedy Crawl, but not really a post-oriented team. Bremen will probably come out and play zone. It'll be an interesting game. I think Whitco's the favorite in that sectional, though.
I would say you're right. Ruff, left wing to Malco. 3, left baseline is good as it rattles home.
Nope, they're going to make it a 2.
2, okay. 40. Are you sure?
He said 2 at the scorer's bench.
Okay. Cousins through the defense in the paint. Prior her shot blocked. Right there's Shank to pick it up and put it in for 2. The scoreboard says it was a 3. We'll wait and see what they're going to call that for sure. It's 41-18 now. Could go to 40-18 here momentarily. Holland outside left for Rochester. Nobody in her face. She'll fire the three. It's good. That one was a no-doubter. She was a good 3 feet behind the three-point line. And now we're going to call it 44-18. And now Holland picks the pocket of Prescott, and she'll go in for the right-handed layup. It's good. And it's 46-18. Rochester in a full-court press. Now Coach Stasiak backs them off. Timeout. Peru. It's a 60. You're listening to Lady Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI.
Now, okay.
90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Rochester at this point leads 46-18, but I'm guessing it's going to be changed to 45-18. But Val, let's go back to the sectional draw. That starts next Tuesday in a 17 sectional at Rochester.
Yes. Oak Hill will play Manchester in the Groundhog Day game next Tuesday, February 2nd. The winner of that game will play Wabash in the Friday semifinal, first semifinal.
Okay.
2 Wednesday night games are Lewis Cass versus Southwood in game 1, and Rochester versus Northfield in game 2. So the Lady Z's drew Northfield. They'll play Northfield in the regular season game on Thursday, then play them again on Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Boy, you're talking about being super vanilla on Thursday.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Rochester on defense. Peru loses the basketball. Holland has it now. Holland against Prescott, right wing 3. Steps back behind the three-point line. Now to Malco on the right baseline. Malco will dribble at the top of the key and reset for Rochester. 1:10 to play in the third quarter. Lady Zebras up 46-18. Baseline to Holland. Left side, left wing to Ruff. Mo with the basketball, top of the keys. Peru still in that 2-3 zone. That's where they've been all night. Outside to Holland. Outside to Malco. Now to Holland on the right wing with 55. X to Becky at top of the key with 53. To Shiley, back to Malco with 48. Outside to Ruff with 47. In the corner to Malco. Feeds down low to Dahlquist. Her jumper on the way is no good. And then Emma climbs the back of the Peru Tiger. She got away with the first over the back call, but then on the second one, and Peru fell down, she was whistled for the foul.
A little bit of frustration. Frustration foul.
So Marin's back into the game. Also back into the game is Parks. Coming out of Honeyegger. And I believe coming out is Stone. Brad Thomas, Balance Harris, sports editor of the Rochester Sentinel, joins us. I'm David Musselman. 35 seconds to play in the third quarter. Rochester up 46-18. Marin down pass to Shanks. Her jumper is good off the window. And it's 46-20. 25 seconds to play in the third.
Rochester had 24 points at halftime. They scored 22 in this quarter.
Well, they needed to do that because it was ice-cold shooting in the entire first half.
Right.
15 seconds. Ruff high on the left side of 12. Bounce pass to Malco with 9. Becky holds. Outside to Holland with 5. Now to Malco with 4. Becky around the defense. 3 left wing for the Lady Zebras is no good, and that'll do it for the third. After 3, Rochester leads 46-20. You're listening to Lady Zebra Basketball, 92.1 WROI. fourth and final quarter, thankfully, at Peru High School, where the Lady Zebras lead by 26 at 46-20. And they'll start the basketball going to our right. Hot shooting that time in that quarter for Rochester. They put, what did you say, 24 on the board?
22 in that third quarter to go with the 24 they had in the first half.
Larkin drives the right baseline, pull up 10-footers. Good. Allie Larkin having a good game.
Yep, she's got 11 now. She's the third Lady Zebra in double digits.
Ever since Keaton Stasiak got that injury, Allie's been doing that more and more. That little pump fake and the pull-up jumper.
She's got a really good 10 to 12-foot jump shot.
Lorenz bounce pass to Parks. Outside to Cousins, 18-footer, draws nothing but air. And the weak side rebound to Prescott. Gives to Cousins, down to Marin. Top of the key for Peru. 7-12 to play in the game. Parks' set shot from the baseline is good.
Parks now with 8 for the Lady Tigers.
Minute gone to the fourth quarter. Rochester up 48-22. Again, the IHSAA is drawing sectional pairings tonight. The Rochester sectional is in. Rochester will play Northfield next Wednesday night at around 7:30 at Rochester High School. And that'll be a rematch of this Thursday's basketball game against Northfield.
I think there are pros and cons of both sides of that. Northfield will get a game to get used to Rochester's quickness.
Yeah.
But Rochester will.
Coach Stasiak not pleased with the way Rochester's moving the basketball. He'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Val, can go ahead and continue that thought.
Rochester, however, will get an idea of what Northfield's personnel is like. That's a very, very young Northfield team with 3 freshman starters, Dale, Beery, and Kelsey Thompson. And then her older sister, Peyton Thompson's a senior.
Yeah.
And then Abby Kefeber, she's basically their post player, but she's about 5'8", maybe 5'8" on her tippy toes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a pretty small Northfield. It's a guard-oriented Northfield team.
I like the idea of us playing them there for the regular season and then coming back home for the sectional game.
Coached by Melissa Allen, and her sister Sydney Eltsroth is the varsity assistant.
Okay.
And Randy Kefeber is also on that coaching staff. So.
You at the Winamac draw?
Yes. Knox will play Hebron. Winner of that game will play Hebron, North Newton. Oregon Davis will play North Judson. And the winner of that game will play the winner of the Delphi Winamac game. So, Oregon Davis, of course, ranked number 1 in Class 2A.
Yeah, I'm sure they're favored.
It's a 17.
Entire postseason.
It's a 17 sectional at Hebron, and whoever wins that sectional will advance to the Winamac Regional.
Hebron, it's not even. It doesn't even look like a central point. Allie Larkin commits a foul and shank, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. 5:57 to play in this game. Rochester up by 26 at 48-22, and going to the line is Ashlyn Shank, a 5'10" sophomore for the Peru Lady Tigers.
What would be interesting, if you want to look down the road a bit, would be what if Oregon Davis wound up playing Whitco at the Winamac Regional?
Yeah,
that would be a big game.
How would Whitco's ranked number 7. How would Whitco handle that Oregon Davis relentless pressure?
Second one for Shank rattles in.
Yeah, a team that averages 83 a game and only gives up 40, that's a pretty big challenge there on both sides of the ball.
Averaging a defensive average of 40 points a game is outstanding considering how fast they play.
Yeah.
Larkin loses the basketball out of bounds, going to go back to Rochester. Back into the game is Gardner. Coming out is Cousins for Peru. 5:45 to play in the game, 48-23 Rochester. And Peru with the basketball going to our left. Marin to the center circle. Rochester in a 1-2-2 zone. Gardner, top of the key to Prescott. Over the top of the defense to Marin. Marin's on the right wing for Peru. Now between the rings to Gardner, left side to Prescott. Feeds down low to Parks, and she is tied up with Larkin, and Peru will keep possession baseline right. 5:25 to play in the basketball game. Rochester up 48-23. Gardner looks to get it in baseline right. Bounce pass comes into Parks, almost stolen by Ruff, and she knocks out of bounds. Will stay with Peru. Next broadcast for the girls will be Thursday night at Northfield. 6:15 JV start, 7:30 pregame here on WROI. Our next broadcast on WROI is tomorrow night as the Rochester guys will host Laville in non-conference play. Oh, my gosh. Gardner's shot no good. Rebound to Larkin. Yowza. That's a tough shot to take.
It's Monday, not Sunday. That's prayer.
Yeah. Holland on the right wing. Dribbles to her left. Now gives to Malcolm between the rings. Bounce pass to Ruff. Outside to Holland for three. Yep. Alexa, another three from the right wing. Again, wide open is 51-23.
17 now for Holland.
Excellent pass out of the high post by Morgan Ruff. She's really good at that.
Yep. Morenz to the left elbow. Down low to Parks. Parks loses the basketball off her own foot. Picked up by Ruff. Mo pushes right side of the floor. Mo now in the middle of the floor. High on the left side to Malco. Left corner to Larkin. Allie with Malco now. Baseline to Holland. X around the defense. Back to Becky. She drives it left. In the paint. Goes to the basket. Right-handed layup is off the rim. No good. Rebound fought for. Peru comes out of there with it.
That's the third wide open layup Rochester's missed tonight.
Morenz between the rings. Rochester stacks back in a 1-3-1. Holland with her hands on her shorts. Backs up now to the volleyball, to the free throw line. Three by Gardner's off the side of the backboard. No good. Ball tipped around. Malcolm comes out of there with it. Becky, left-handed layup on the way is good. And now the lead is 30 at 53-23. Under 4 to play in the game.
Leading by 28 and still hustling. That was all about hustle by Becky.
That doesn't surprise you, does it?
No.
Gardner to Morenz on the left wing. Peru now just kind of standing around. They look at the scoreboard, and the offense has kind of went stagnant for them.
I think they want to.
Speaking of hustle, Mo just picked off another pass. She's pushed out of bounds. No call, but it'll go back to Peru. Because she's the last one to touch it.
Yeah, how is that not a foul on Morenz is beyond me. But, yeah, I don't know. This is one of those games where you just want to pull your players off so they don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And
it's 3.5 to play.
It's not because it's that physical of a basketball game. It's just because we don't have anybody officiating it.
Yeah, they're basically a spectator getting paid for being here.
They just want to get out of here quicker than anybody else in this gym, it seems like. That's only 7 fouls, 8 fouls in the second half. We only had 5 in the first.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm watching Emma Dahlquist on defense. She's really doing a nice job.
Their baby hook is no good. Ruff with the rebound gives them. I agree with that. She's played.
In the 1-3-1, I was talking to Bill Patrick about this. When you play a 1-3-1, the key person isn't the one on top, it's the one in back. Because usually there's one in back who has to cover the whole baseline, and they're the ones who are really moving. And usually the one person on top gets all the accolades because they're running and jumping and hands flying and everything. But it's the one person in back they sometimes are the one with the hardest job.
Got a reach-in foul on Peru. I don't think it's 30 because there isn't a 30 on the roster. I guess they're in JV.
Shank is who they called that on.
It's her third. Rochester will shoot from here on out. 3 minutes to play in the game. Rochester at 53-23. Malco to Holland, middle of the floor. X to the basketball. Right wing pass to Malco. Becky around the defense at the right elbow, and she's found on the way to the basket. Now we're going to start calling these ticky-tacky things, huh? I see a great big box of Harvey Hinklemeyer pizza. Yes, please, right up here. Those of you who have never tried Harvey Hinklemeyer pizza or the breadsticks, you are missing out, I'm telling you. Free throw for Becky Malco. One of the bonus for Rochester. They lead by 30. Eyes the first one. Lets it fly, and it's no good. Dahlquist with the rebound. How is that not a foul or a tie-up? Anyway, Rochester keeps possession. Larkin now to Holland near the timeline. 2:45 to play in the game. Rochester up 53-23. High on the right side to Malco. Becky gets the 2-3 zone to Holland. Back to Malco. Swings left wing to Larkin. Allie stands at the basketball about 10 feet behind the three-point line. Left side of the floor. Dribbles to the middle. Now kicks it out to Malco near the timeline. 2:25 to play in the game. Al Holland has it left wing. Back to the right wing to Malco. Becky holds. 2-3 zone extended to the volleyball line. Now to Ruff high on the left side right in front of the Rochester bench. Ruff away from the defense. Now to Malco high on the right side. 2:15 to play in the game. Becky penetrates. Dumps down pass down low to Dahlquist. She puts it in for 2. Emma Dahlquist was 6 tonight at 55-23.
Good hands by Dahlquist.
Yep.
That pass had some heat on him.
Morenz to Parks. Parks gets a fair hug from Allie Larkin. She'll go to the line for one free throw as the bucket goes in. That's good stuff. Minute 56 to play in the game.
Parks now with 10 off the bench for the Lady Tigers.
Jesse Swears back in for the Lady Tigers.
Severs back in for Peru. Parks is the line to shoot for Peru. Try to complete the three-point play. Larkin comes out of the game with 2 fouls. Minute 56 to play in the basketball game. Rochester up by 30. Parks flies the free throw. It is good. And coming back in is Moran's sister of Shirley, 5'6" sophomore. Also coming back in is Angel Parks, actually for the first time tonight, comes in as Coach Weeks clearing his bench with a minute 56 to play in the game. 55-26 Rochester. Rochester going to move their mark to 19-1, and will finish off the regular season on Thursday night at Northfield High School. Then turn around on Wednesday night, sectional week, to play Northfield at Rochester in game number 2. And we'll have that breakdown before we get off the air again tonight. Yeah. Go.
Tippecanoe Valley.
Yep.
Class 3A Sectional 21, 6 teams at Tippecanoe Valley. Valley drew Wawasee.
Whom they play tonight.
They play tomorrow night at Valley, and then they'll play again next Tuesday.
Yeah.
In the sectional. The winner of that game will play West Noble.
Valley favorite in that, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Other half of the draw, Lakeland will play Northwood, and the winner of that game will play Fairfield.
Okay.
I think Valley's already played everybody in their sectional except for Wawasee, and they'll play them tomorrow night.
And they don't play Fairfield.
Oh, I thought they played them in the holiday tournament.
No.
Okay. That's boys. Hall. My mistake.
Shively, the free throw line out to Holland. A minute to play in the game. Rochester will use a timeout just long enough to get some girls in. Brenda Peterson, Allie Harsh, Courtney Gass in, Ruff, Malco, and Holland out for Rochester. Minute to play in the game. Rochester at 55-26. And Gass will run the point for the Lady Zebras. Works to the right wing. High on the right side for Rochester. Switches directions. Now splits the double team. Goes to the post. Down low to Dahlquist. Emma's shot no good. A lot of contact. Rebound to Peterson. Peterson throws the shot up. No good. Peru fights for it and travels. Oh, we're going to have a tie-up between 2 Peru players. And it's going to stay with Rochester baseline right.
Well, that sounds right. It's about normal for these guys. 2 Peru players get called for the tie-up, and Rochester gets the ball.
Back into the game is, Cousins. 45 seconds to play in the game. Rochester up 55-26. Shively looks to get it in. Bounce pass into Dahlquist is kicked out of bounds. We'll try it again with 44.5. And Rochester going to run their mark to 19-1, 7-1 in the TRC.
You know, Wabash has won 7 straight sectionals. Like we talk about, Rochester's the favorite, but, Wabash has won 7 straight sectionals.
They're seasoned, aren't they? Shively traveled. Going to go back to Peru. Well,
and when
speaking of
they lost in the regional final the first 6 years. 6 years in a row, they won the first game of the regional and lost the second game. And then finally they broke through last year.
And got beat by a really good team.
Yeah. Canterbury.
30 seconds. Peru working around the horn. Severe to Cousins. Down low to Parks. Back the way in. She is fouled on the reach in with 22 seconds to play. And Rochester up 55-26. Post-game show coming up. In the post-game show, we'll try to run down the sectional. I know, Val, you've got to go, so we'll try to get that done before we get to the sectional, before we get off the air here. Parks, 5-footer, nope. Offensive rebound putback, nope. Shively the board. Maddie rips and runs for Rochester with 15. Left side of the floor against right in front of Coach Stasiak. Now to Gass. Gass backs it out to the circle, and Rochester going to win this, and as we're down to 4. The final tonight from Peru High School, the Rochester Lady Zebras defeat Peru 55-26. Post-game show coming up next, 92.1 WROI.